Video 9 of the Cowling Maths Revision Series. I picked out quite a few questions today. You've actually got 11 questions in total, and there are some Part A's and Part B's, but they're all quite short, quick questions, so hopefully nice, easy ones to pick up the marks on. I'm going to reveal the answers then, so if you want to have a go, just pause the video, and remember, if you're watching on a small screen, you can pinch to zoom in. So I'll reveal the answers now, so pause if you don't want to see them. So on the first one, the odd numbers between 10 and 16 are 13. Why did I start with 13? 11, 13, and 15. First 10 square numbers are 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, and 100. Prime numbers between 40 and 50, you can have 41, 31, or 47. What am I talking about? I'll say those again because I completely messed that up. Please forgive me, I'm very tired. Very, very tired. So, for that one, question 3, prime number between 40 and 50, you can have any number out of 41, 43, or 47. One of those might be wrong. If I come across a mistake, I'll pop it in the comments. If there isn't a comment there, just assume they're correct, because there is the odd time, like there's a big factor that fits in and you kind of miss it. So I think they're correct. You can have either 41, 43, or 47. I do apologise. Question 4, the first 10 multiples of 8, so your 8 times tables: 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80. Question 5, your lines of symmetry, you should only have these two, and I'll explain later if you're interested. Question 6, the rotational symmetry is 2. Question 7, part A, it's a 2-mark question, so make sure you show you're working out. Final answer is 4, and you get that from doing 5 takeover on the biggest takeaway the smallest. Part B, to get the mean of the numbers, you have to add them up and divide by how many. So 2-mark question, you'll get 1 mark for showing you're working out, 18 divided by 6, because there's 6 numbers in total. So the total divided by the number of numbers, and final answer is 3, so 2 marks if you got 3. 8A is 680, 8B is 330,000, so that's 3, 3, and then 4 zeros. Question 9, the smallest one is 0.602. Part B is 0.61. What am I talking about? I've just messed up again and I'm getting distracted. I didn't mean part B, that's the second smallest number. The third smallest number is 0.629, and the last one is 0.64. I wonder how many more mistakes I'm going to make. We're nearly at the end, we'll see. I'll just read them again in case you want me to. So 0.602, 0.61, 0.629, and 0.64. I do apologise for making a mistake. 10A, the answer is x is 20, or just 20 if you got 20. Part B, final answer is 6, so x equals 6. It's a 2-mark question. You must show some working out, so I'm going to show the working out that you'll need to see in just a minute. For 11A, it's a 2-mark question, so you'll probably get 1 mark for the 28 and the second mark for if you've got the right powers. So the final answer is 28x cubed y squared. And for the final question, it does just say factorise. I much prefer when they say fully factorise, but I have noticed on exams it can just say factorise, and you still have to fully factorise them, which is quite annoying. So you've got to look for the highest common factor. Your highest common factor of these terms is 8a, so you need 8a outside the bracket, and then 2 plus a inside the bracket. And again, that's a 2-mark question, so you'll get 1 mark if you've taken 8 out, or maybe a common factor out. Second mark if you've correctly got the full right answer. So I'm going to explain all those answers now in case you're interested. A lot of them are fairly straightforward, so I'm not going to have to do a lot of working out, which is great, but I am going to explain them. So on the first one, odd numbers is just any number not in the 2 times table, not an even number. Seems very straightforward, but it does appear on foundation exam papers. You need to know the difference between odd and even. Question 2, your square numbers, so you're timesing things by themselves. This is 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, 5 times 5, etc., etc. So they're the first 10 square numbers. Just remember what a square number is when you times a number by itself. Question 3, prime numbers have exactly 2 factors. You might remember they're only in the 1 times table and themselves times table. That doesn't work for the number 1 though, so be very, very careful. The technical definition of a prime number is a number with exactly 2 factors. So all those numbers should have exactly 2 factors. They're not in any times tables except 1 and themselves. Question 4 then, multiples of 8, they're just your 8 times tables. So remember, multiples means times tables basically. For your lines of symmetry, you can only have that one and that one. You can't have these diagonal ones, and the best explanation I can give for that, if I had a line kind of cutting through that way, if you can see my cursor, On this side, I've got yeah, that's really hard to explain without folding it. Perhaps I should have thought it through a bit better. But if that was my diagonal, um, this line, if you like, kind of goes down. So on the other side, it should go down too. When actually, really, it goes further away. So if you did it and tried to fold it that way, it wouldn't be exactly the same on both sides. Really hard to explain, and in hindsight, I do wish that I had put kind of a bit of an explanation in there. So I apologise about that. Let me know if you want it, and I'll make sure it appears in future. Question 6 is the order of rotation symmetry of a rhombus. Hate how that's worded, but again, that's how it appears on OCR papers. So the rotational symmetry is just how many times you can turn it around, and it looks the same till you're back to what we started with. So with a rhombus, you can turn it upside down, it looks the same, and then upside down again. So that's why it's got order of rotational symmetry too. Question 7, out of the list of numbers to get the range, you do the biggest, take away the smallest. So biggest number's 5, smallest number's 1. 5 take away 1 makes 4. To get the mean, you add them all up and divide by how many. So these numbers add up to 18. There are 6 numbers in total. 18 divided by 6, and the mean is 3. I'm going to do the rhyme for remembering all the averages. It is really handy. So it goes, hey diddle diddle, the median's the middle. We didn't have that one. You add and divide for the mean. The mode is the one that appears the most, and the range is the difference between. That's the kind of little rhyme that I use in my classes to help remember those averages. So I'll say it again. Hey diddle diddle, the median's the middle. You add and divide for the mean. The mode is the one that appears the most, and the range is the difference between. So range was the first question, the difference between the biggest and smallest. And for the mean, it said add and divide. So add them all up, divide by how many. 8a then says to round to the nearest 10. You have to look at the units column. It's got a 3 in it. 3 is below 5, so it rounds down. We're just going to keep the tens column the same, so we get 680. To round to 3 significant figures, you need to look at the 4th significant figure. So if I count the digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 8. 8 rounds up, so we need to put the 9 up a digit. Hence we get 3, 3, and replace the rest with zeros. So final answer, 330,000, or 3, 3, and then with 4 zeros afterwards. To write these numbers in size order, the best thing I'm going to do now is actually stack them one on top of the other. So I've just written all these numbers all lined up perfectly, and now you can compare them very easily in terms of size. This might be worth remembering for your exam. So you can see that in the units column, they all have a 0. In the tenths column, they all have a 6. And then we can quite quickly see which of these is smallest. So the bottom number is the smallest. It's got a 0 in the hundredths column, and that's why that is the smallest number. So I'm going to cross that one off. We've used it. The next one then, just focusing on these hundredths columns, the 1 is the smallest one, so 0.61 goes next. We'll cross that one off. Then I've got 2 or 4, so obviously 2 is the smaller one, so the 2 goes next. And finally, we've got the 4, so that's them in size order. I'll read them out for you just in case you need it. So 0.602, 0.61, 0.629, and 0.64. Right, on to the algebra questions. So to solve this equation, it's something add 12 makes 32. You might know straight away that's 20. It's just a 1-mark question. Technically, to solve the equation, we're getting x on its own. We need to get rid of this plus 12. So the opposite of adding 12 is taking away 12. 32 take away 12 gives you 20. Part B is a 2-mark question, so there will be some working out involved. If we think about what we've done to x, it's been times by 4 and added 3. So working backwards, we've got to take away 3 and then divide by 4. Taking away 3 first from both sides, this plus 3 is going to disappear, and we've got to take away 3 from that bit as well. So we get 4x is equal to 24. Now, we don't want 4x, we just want one of them. So we're going to divide by 4, and that's where we get the x equals 6. 4x divided by 4 is x, 24 divided by 4 is 6. So that's a 2-mark question. Usually you'll get 1 mark for this step in the middle, 4x equals 24, and a 2nd mark if you've got the full correct answer. 11a then, to simplify this expression, firstly I would just multiply the numbers. 4 times 7 gives you 28, and then x cubed, there isn't another x over there, so we've just got the x cubed left on its own, and then y times y makes y squared. So the final answer, 28x cubed y squared. It's a 2-mark question. Very iffy kind of where the marks come from. It depends how nasty they're being. You'll probably get 1 mark for the number and 1 mark for the correct powers. Okay. Final question says to factorise, you need to look for the highest common factor. So the biggest times table that fits into both of these, you can find the factors of each if you need to, which again I've not shown, so if you want me to do, let me know and I'll make sure I do it. The highest times table that fits into both of these is 8, hence why I've taken 8 out. They do both have a letter A in as well, so I've taken 8A out of the whole expression. In the bracket then we've got 2 plus A, because 16 divided by 8 makes 2, A divided by 8 is 1, so this is basically 2 times 1, we're just left with 2. 8 divided by 8 is 1, so there's an invisible 1 in here, and then A squared divided by A is A. You can always expand your bracket to check you get the right answer. So 8A times 2 makes 16A, 8A times A makes 8A squared. So it is correct. That's a 2-mark question. So you'll get 2 marks if you got the full correct final answer. You'll get 1 mark if you got a different factor taken out but still correctly factorised. So I hope that was helpful. There were lots of questions in that one, quite a long video. I do apologise, but I do hope it was helpful. If there's any particular thing you want me to feature in a future video, please let me know. Otherwise, hopefully I'll see you again soon for another video. Thanks for watching.